Today I make a front lip out of mud flaps, hockey sticks, and some bolts. That's it. I've gotten a bit of a rough profile off of my bumper just to make sure that I can remove a little bit at a time until it fits nicely. And I guess that pretty much leaves removal of that section of plastic you can see on this side. Before I started recording, I actually took this tab off already, and then I realized I was missing stuff. So just checking the fitment on this, and it's not quite the right shape. It could come in a little bit on this side. I'll show you. Down this side, this goes in just a little too far right here. That has nothing to do with this scratch, that was already there. Like, I don't know, just sand it back or whatever. But I had to make a couple of relief cuts, and I'm not even entirely sure that I'm done, because this section here doesn't fit quite around that bend there. However, this part is pretty much relieved from any strain. I did not expect that I'd be using the jack stand, but as it turns out, lips or canards or whatever I'm doing here go on the bottom of the car. So when you're jacking, make sure that you use a jack stand so that the car can't fall right on top of you. Here I am on the ground, and as you can see, I've got all of my relief cuts made into this little canard thing, and I'm using this ugly thing is kind of a position. Oh, I got some plastic. Yeah, I'm going to use this to position it. I've kind of marked where I want it, and it's the best spot for it to hug. But I'm going to use one self-tapper just to get the rest of the drilled holes that I've made here figured out. As it turns out, these on the outside are totally useless, so I had to make my own. Okay, I did not expect that I'd be using the jack stand, but as it turns out, lips or canards or whatever I'm doing here go on the bottom of the car. So when you're jacking, make sure that you use a jack stand so that the car can't fall right on top of you. So even though I spent $6 on a hockey stick, this weird skid sort of side rail thing made of plastic is what's going to have to do it. But I had noticed that it was at almost an acute angle. It's supposed to be 90 degrees, but the trick here is making it more obtuse. So I'm using the heat gun there and just pressing it out a bit, hoping to get it more obtuse so that it kind of lines up with these canards. I'll film the second pass. I missed the first one. Well, it's dark, but you can see I had to experiment, and what's not showing up very well on camera is that that's actually flush there, sort of. But I have this massive and hilarious looking air dam. Don't mind my zip ties. But it's basically a skirt, or a front lip, sort of. Daylight reveals all. So you can see that I have really messy levels as far as this big kind of flappy right angled piece. They didn't do a great job of sticking my license plate back on it, but that's not a big deal. And I didn't really want these cheaper pieces of plastic up there because they're just very brittle. So I'm just going to get rid of them and chop up some other ones. I found another hockey stick, and it's got another piece that I can kind of join the two together with. Should work well. Alright, so I got that edge trimmed off, and it's, well, unless I'm covering it with shadow, it's a little bit easier to see what I was going for with this front lip. But you can also see where I went horribly, horribly wrong, because there's a big gap in the middle, which I would have almost been alright with, you know, because the license plate will cover it. But it's also just this kind of shitty, cheap plastic that was from Dollarama. I'm not good with that. But no more hangy, so that's good. Oh, right, onto prepping the new pieces. So, yeah, the new pieces aren't quite like these ones. As you can see, there's just not very much actual thickness to these bits. I'm not anticipating hitting anything, but, you know, if I do bump up against something, I don't want it to all completely shatter. But on top of that, you can see that there's just kind of a rib structure. It's a bit thicker, and it's just a better quality plastic, really. So that's why I'm going with these. The only problem, of course, is that it's got big red letters that say Street Invasion on it, and that's not going to look good, because the other one is green, and it'll look like a boat. Well, considering how I would join the two neatly, I wasn't sure how. Like, I just thought maybe I would slip a piece of one into the other, and the other, and screw that. That doesn't make any sense. I thought I would just cut a little and kind of cram it inside and screw it down, but then I realized this one's got a nice black end on it, and if I trim off this bit, and I trim it before it tapers, I could have a really tidy joint. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, the lip is done, and I'm pretty sure that it's exactly as good as I paid for. You know what? It looks better on camera. Anyway, I hope somebody that does the 24-hour Lemons Racing catches this video, because I think it's perfect for that. I think in total it ran somewhere somewhere like $30. I kind of lost count on what parts I bought when I went to the scrapyard and everything. But mostly hardware cost money. The hockey sticks were about $6 a piece, and the mud flaps, like I said, don't know. I can definitely say that the hardware was $15. That's all I got, but hopefully you enjoyed, and if you're not too fussy about your car, maybe this is a look you like. See you next time.